there, PL here, and today I'm going to walk you through the whole project of a new future-based drop that I made a couple months ago. I'll show you everything in a minute, but I've used my own royalty-free vocal a cappella to make this track, so if you want to go ahead and grab it for yourself, then there will be a link in the description, but without further ado, let's get into it. This is how it sounds. So that's the drop. I wouldn't say it is fully finished as this was made for a demo, but I really like it for now. So this is the project in Logic Pro, and for you to not be lost, here on the top we have the chords and the leads here. We have some extra vocal chops around here. Again, here in pink we have a bit more ear candy like arps and other things that I'll show you after. Here in dark purple we have the bass and the sub. Then in blue it's the drums, then the FXs in cyan, I guess. And in green here we have the ambiances. That's usually always how I structure my projects. So I guess we'll start with the drums because in this project I remember this was the first thing that I did. Usually for progressive house I like to start with the chords and the leads, but for future bass I always seem to start with the drums as it do the rhythm. So very classic, I started with a kick that I found on Splice, and most of the drum samples I found them on Splice. That's always where I get my samples. So here I just wanted a kick with some type of texture in it, and then because it's future bass I added a reverse kick. But I felt like it needed a bit more in the tail, so I added this little kick here, but just the tail, without it and with it. I just wanted more texture in it. Then I obviously needed a snare that I layered with a few claps, then an extra clap, just so that there is more layer in the snare. I didn't want something like super extra powerful or anything, but I wanted something layered with a lot of texture, as you can tell. Then on top of that we needed some more rhythm, so I added a hi-hat loop. And as you can hear, I put it on the side with Wider, which is a free plugin. On the second part of the drop I add more loops. Same thing placed on the sides. And I think that's it for now in terms of the drums. I'll show you the fills and the extra FXs a little bit after. Alright, so now let's talk about the chords. For the chords I have three layers. I have this one over there. Just a classic super saw. Then I have another one which is more with rhythm. And then I have a pad to take care of the mid frequencies. And all of them are driven by a sidechain that I did with just a gain automation, as you can see here. And as you notice, the chords don't start right at the beginning of the drop. That's because I had another idea for it that I will show you right after. I also decided to add this nice little ambience on top of the chords to have a bit more texture to it. As you can hear right there, it's also controlled by a filter automation at the middle end of the drop, and it's just a high cut automation here with an EQ. So both those first two chords presets are from a pack from MusicCore on Serum, and the pad is a preset from MHA Serum Soundbank. I didn't do too much to the presets, to be honest. The only thing that I always do is in the FX, I remove all the reverb and delay because I do it myself on the bus of the chords. Which, to talk about it real quick, the only thing I did is basic EQ, so I just bumped a bit the high frequencies and reduced the mud around the 300 Hz. Then I added a little bit of saturation with Magma. Then I just added my own reverb with Valhalla Supermassive, which is a reverb that I really like. And then just the other EQ, which is just a filter automation over there. Another thing that I do as well in terms of the mixing is in all of them on their own track, I always EQ to remove the low end and a bit of their muddiness around the 300-500 Hz, just to make sure that it's as clean as possible. So everything with the drum sounds like this. Alright, so now we need some bass. Pretty simple here, to be honest, nothing crazy. I just have two presets. So the first one is again from MusicCore Timeless preset pack, and the second one is also a preset from MusicCore Timeless pack. Come on! See, this is the behind the scenes of a YouTuber trying to shoot a video. It takes super long because OBS is so heavy. There you go. So basically this one sounds like this, which is covering more of the lower frequencies. And then the annihilate? So way more gritty on more of the higher lows frequencies. And as you notice, like both of my presets cover a different frequency. I don't want it to cover the exact same, otherwise it's just gonna cancel each other, it's gonna be useless. So when you're layering, really try to cover different frequencies. This way it sounds way bigger. As you can see, on each of them I do nothing. I just treat it real quick on the bus, which I remove the sub frequencies because it's going to be covered by the sub. And then just again to make sure it's at the right level that I want it to be, but that's it. To be honest, on this one, I didn't do too much because I didn't want the bass to be like super huge, because that's not what I felt like the drop was. I could potentially, you know, put more distortion, put more stuff and all to make it more gritty, more aggressive, but I didn't feel like it was that type of drop, so I didn't, but yeah, just a creative choice here. So until now, everything that we have sounds like this. Okay, now let's continue with the leads, but before that, make sure to like the video. It is really helpful for me and will support the channel. So the leads are very basic. It just is like another high frequency layer on top of the chords. And it's just something that I add on the second part of the drop just to add something new to the ear. That's it, really easy. But as you can see, it is quite empty, so for this drop, I had to add a lot of ear candy, and here are some of them. So as you saw at the beginning, it is empty, and that's because in my ear, I could hear a growl, like these two. I don't know why, that's what I heard. Just before it hits, I have this little ARP riser type of thing that I put inside all of the little breaks in the drop. And here. Like every time I stop the chords, I put this do-do-do-do-do, like just a little ear candy so that it's not too empty. I love that one. To help, I added as well some breath shots. And then on the second end of the drop, I add this nice little ARP. It's just in the background as I put it on the side with wider and an EQ to filter it, but it really helps adding something. Now if we continue in their ear candy type of things, we have all the fills. So before the drop I have this one. And a little water effects here. Then we have more fills over here. And as you notice, I placed all the drum fills as well in the empty parts where there's no chord. As you can see, it's already way more full. Now the last thing that I added is the sub. Nothing crazy here, just a typical basic sub. With the sidechain, and that's it. After this, I added some more ambiances because we'd never have enough ambience, especially in future bass and in my music. So just those three, which I got on Splice, and I did the sidechain automation as well, the exact same. Just very basic, but helps a lot. And then I just added some more like downlifters, FXs, swooshes, and stuff like that. Which gives us this at the impact of the drum.
Baby, you got me played, but now I won't be playing the game. I'm ready for something real. Got myself a heart of steel.
you want to learn more about producing future bass, I am sure that you will like this playlist right here, where I make a future bass track from scratch, from start to finish in 4 episodes. I show you literally every step of the production process. In the meantime, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next one.